Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to take a look at another great riff, hard rock and metal riff from 1985. And today we're going to take at something that might be seemingly a bit obscure to some of you, but I highly recommend checking this band out if you haven't already. So we're going to take a look at this riff from the band Icon. And this was the 1985 album Night of the Crime, which is really a melodic hard rock slash metal masterpiece. It's really good, you guys, and it's something that not a lot of metalheads are aware of. So check it out. They've got another album, the self-titled album, which is the first one they did. It's just called Icon, and it's also really good. But this one's from the second one, Night of the Crime, and the song is called Danger Calling. And I picked this one because it's a really cool, catchy riff, and it's driving. It's great. It's a great riff, and it's in the key of E minor, and it's in standard tuning, and it's fairly easy to play. And I just thought this would be a really cool way to get you guys playing some cool riffs from a little bit of an obscure band, and hopefully turn some of you on to Icon. And if you already are aware of Icon, then great, you know how good they are. And it's too bad they didn't do more stuff. But, you know, bands implode all the time, and I'm sure their story has some of that to do with its demise. But it's always fun to look back on some of these bands that maybe only had, you know, one or two albums, and that's the last you've heard of them. But the albums are really good, you know. I can think of a couple, you know, a band like Shock Paris. They've had a few albums, but you know, there's a band called Banshee, which had a couple albums, which I really like. And there's just, you know, there's bands like that in the hard rock and metal that are, for whatever reason, they didn't ever catch on, or they hit at the wrong time, or drugs, or who knows what. But at least there's a document of this music still out there that you can get, that you can buy, that you can listen to however you're listening to music. And there's people like me who are trying to keep it alive so that you hear about it. So we'll get to that in just a second. I'll show you this cool riff. Fairly easy, won't take too long. And but before I do, I should mention that if you want the tab for this, check the box below, description box, and my Patreon link is the place to go to get tab, Guitar Pro, backing tracks, and things like that. So you'll find the tab and Guitar Pro over there. This one will probably be my, probably just be tab, my PDF tab, handwritten tab, because usually what I do is I'll take Guitar Pro files that already exist, and then I'll correct them. Or if it's a fairly, you know, if it's something that I can quickly do, I'll create it from scratch. But that, most of the time, creating Guitar Pro tracks from scratch is very time consuming. So I'll find something that's in the ballpark, and then I'll fix it, because most of it's wrong, to be honest with you. Most of the tab out there is wrong, or there's certain, you know, just little things that are wrong about it. And so I'll fix it, and then I'll make sure you guys get it. But sometimes obscure things like this, there's no Guitar Pro, and so I'll just handwrite some tab, and I'll take a picture of it on my phone, and I'll turn it into a PDF file for you guys to check out. And so there's some files that are like that. If you're ever wondering, like, why didn't he do a Guitar Pro file for this, but he has tab for it? That's why. It's because sometimes it's just too time consuming, and I would rather just keep creating content and instead of putting too much time into creating a tab from nothing. So there you go. That was quite a little bunny trail I went on right there, wasn't it? A rabbit trail, so to speak. So that's where you'll find the tab. And also I've got a free gift for you guys called 5 blistering licks to light up your fretboard. And it's got some cool stuff. There's like a George Lynch style lick and an Eddie Van Halen style lick. And it does have the Guitar Pro and the tab and some video. And it's a free gift. So make sure and head over and check it out. All right, so let's get going. Icon, Night of the Crime album. And we're taking a look at Danger Calling. And it just starts right off the bat with this cool riff. So we're, like I said, standard tuning on this. It's in the key of E minor. And let me just play it slow. Okay, so it goes. A little quicker. And it's kind of a circular riff, which means it's a simple idea and then it's repeated. There's some open strings in here as well, but it starts out with an open E string, and then 5th fret on the D, and then 7th fret on the low E. I'm sorry, on the A string, and then low E again. So after you hit the low E string, you don't want to leave that ringing. You want these notes to be clear, so stop the ringing with the palm after you let it ring, right? So it's not, right? So that by the time you hit this note at the 5th fret, you're already muting that low E. And then you come back to the low E and you do mute at that time. Okay, and then you're going to go right into this D chord. There we go. Okay, so you're going to do that twice. What we do is we go from that E part there and then go right to this D chord, which is 5th fret on the A, 4th fret D, open G, and I'm muting the A and D strings, and then kind of letting that G string. I hit that without muting it, but I cut it off like that. So together you get this. Okay, it seems very simple, but it's a little tricky to get that happening correctly. Okay, so you do that twice. So you go, do it again. Move down to the C chord. We're going to play the same shape here. Just move this down 2 frets. So now we're at third fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the D string. And this time we're going to pick the third fret on the A string, the C note, and then go right to the G string and then the D string. So, right. So remember, you're holding down 3rd fret A, 2nd fret D, and open G string is ringing. So it's the picking pattern is 5th string, 3rd string, 4th string, and then back to the 5th string. And then move this whole thing up 2 frets and do the opposite direction where you play 5th fret A string, 4th fret D, and open G. So now you're going to go right up. Then go back to the C chord and do the same thing that you just did. And then you're going to play, these are muted, 5th fret on the A string twice, and then 7 on the low E once. And that's also muted. So here's that second part. Notice the rhythm of it. Make sure you get the timing correctly on that. Here's the whole riff. Okay, there you go. That's the whole riff. A couple tips. One main tip is don't use too much gain on this. It's going to be hard to clean it up when you're letting those open strings ring. I've got plenty of gain on tap here. But you can still hear like all the notes in the chord. Like in a G chord, you can still hear all the notes. So there's still some clarity there. If you got too much gain, it's just going to probably turn into a mess. So that would be the main tip there, is just back off on the gain on this and listen to the original, see if you can cop the vibe to it. It's a really cool tune. There you go, guys. So Icon, Night of the Crime, and lots of great songs on there too. And also the album before it, I said that before, but the self-titled album, Icon, really cool stuff. It's maybe a little less, maybe a little more raw. Night of the Crime's definitely of the times where there's keyboards. It's got a little bit of AOR sensibilities and hooks and things like that, which I personally love. But if you want something a little bit more raw, check out the first album and compare the two. But the same singer on both and really good tunes on both, and I think you'll dig it. This was Danger Calling by Icon from 1985. I'll see you next time. Rock on.